Welcome to pattern making class. I'm your college instructor, Annette Julie, and today we will be working on single dart manipulation into 2 darts on our front bodice. We're going to be working in quarter scale, as you can see here, and we're using the method of slash and spread. So grab your tools and let's get started. You're going to need tape and scissors, a writing implement, pen or pencil, your quarter scale front bodice, and a little ruler. Also need your contrast paper. So I've got a front bodice here, and I've got a few more, but I've got a bunch that I've printed out, and I can cut them out. That's my center front. My shoulder. Cutting my side seam, and there's my waist. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut the curves, which is my front neckline, and my front armhole. We see a single notch. That single notch means front, and on quarter scale that's usually up about 3 inches. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut out the dart legs. And we're ready to do some pattern manipulation. So we're going to take this one waist dart and we're going to put it into 2 darts, and we can pick the place that we want to put it. From another one of my videos, we've done some different backs, but then we've also made this template for placement of darts. You can choose any of those spots and more. Okay, you're going to pick a combination of 2. So I'm going to start with the French dart, and I'm going to go up about 1/4 of an inch from my side seam here, from the waist at the side seam, and I'm going to connect a line from the bust point to the line that I made at the side seam, and that's going to be one of my slash lines. But I'm really fond of French darts, so I'm going to make 2 of them. I'm going to go up another 1/4 of an inch, draw a line from the bust point down to that new mark, and there's my second slash line. Now we can cut out both slash lines, and it's awesome when you can keep the paper attached, but it doesn't always work out like that. Okay, so if yours falls off, you can still manipulate that. We're going to now place this on the paper, on our contrasting paper, and I always like to tape down that center front parallel to the edge of the paper. So we're respecting the grain of the paper, and we're also thinking about this being the selvage edge of fabric. So now that we've made 2 slash lines and we've taken 1 dart and we're going to open this up and make 2, we're going to close this. I'm going to tape that down, and I've opened up 2 darts. But I need to go ahead and work with those little slash lines and make sure that they're even. Just taking a little bit of tape off that tip. So when I place this piece down here, I better go measure the space in between and make sure that it's even. So there we were at about 1/2 inch. This is a little bit more than 1/2 inch. We move that down just a hair. Now we'll tape this down. When we're working with quarter scale, we can always split that tape too. Now we're going to go ahead and draw on our grain line. Draw arrows both directions. And this is our front bodice. And this is double French darts. And if I wanted to, I could do 3. But 2 is sufficient for my 2 darts. Double placement. Let's grab another bodice we've gone ahead and cut out, and we can do another design. Looking back at our template, we could go center front bust, mid shoulder, mid armhole, low point of shoulder, and center front waist. Why don't we do something really different and go from our bust point down to the waist at the center front, and then also bring that to the low point of the shoulder, bust point to low point of the shoulder, and we're going to close this dart, and we're going to slash and open a dart here and a dart here. Okay, you ready? Let's get going. If you can leave that attached, great. If not, it's okay. We can still work with it. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down parallel with the edge of my paper. And I'm going to go ahead and close this waist dart. And at the same time, I'm opening a dart here at center front, and I'm going to open a dart here at the shoulder. So I'm closing that waist dart just like that. I've closed it. Take a piece of tape, close that waist dart, and then here you see we have 2 darts that have opened up. The low point of the shoulder and our waist at center front. So you can go ahead and make them even spaced right now. Again, it looks like it's about 1/2 inch, I would say, the space. Let's see, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, it's about 5/8. That one's about 1/2 inch. Let's go ahead and make sure that they're even. Close enough. Let's tape those down. We've closed the waist dart and opened one at center front waist and at the low point of the shoulder. Very interesting design. Let's add our grain line at center front. Arrows both directions. Front bodice. Two darts, center front waist, and low point of shoulder. I abbreviated. Center front waist, low point of shoulder. CFW, LPS. All right. Let's go on to another design where we have one bodice dart here, and we make two. Certainly you can make 3 or 4 or many other, but we're going to keep that for another video when we go into dart clusters. Right now we just have our 2 darts using the slash and spread. So let's think of another dart that we could do. Well, let's look back at our template. We could put one into our neckline or over here to the side. Right, take this waist dart, transfer side and to neckline. That could be pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and draw a line. Here we have the center front, so line up your ruler so that you're perpendicular there with the center front, making a right angle and parallel and perpendicular, right? And going across the bust point and then over to the side seam. Okay? Let's draw that line from the bust point to the side seam. There's one slash line, and then I thought it would be fun to put one in the mid neck. So we would transfer the waist dart to the neck and the side seam. And why do we even need a dart? Because this would be a woven fabric and we need something to fit us. And so we need to take in that space over our bust mound. And when we go to full scale, the patterns will have the darts spaces filled in and backed off, all from our bust point. But right now we're going to learn simple manipulation so that we can get a lot of design ideas in our head. Let's do the neckline. Let's do our side. So we're going to slash right there to the bust point, also known as the apex. And we're going to slash again from the side seam in. Okay, great. Now we're ready to close our waist dart. Here we're looking at the center front, neckline, shoulder, armhole, side seam. Okay, we're going to close our waist dart. Grab a little tape. Close the waist dart. And then now we have our neckline and our side seam dart. We can make sure that they're even spaces, both about 1/2 inch. That looks good. And I want to tape this so this is my center front. It's parallel to the edge of the paper, which could also be our selvage edge of fabric. We always have to respect the grain of cutting. Now let's go ahead and tape those darts down. Tape a little bit more of that pattern down if you'd like to. Keep everything in place. Now we can add our grain line here at the center front. Add our arrows going both directions. And this is our front bodice. And we have 2 darts. We have the side seam bust dart and neckline. Wow, that looks great. These are quarter scale. Our method is slash and spread. Get your name on there for reference and put this in a notebook and refer back to it. And these are our 2 darts as well. Let me add that at the top here. Okay. Also too, you've written it on your grain line. But these are all front bodices. And then please watch my video to learn the back and the placement of the darts for the template. This is Annette Julie, and thanks for watching the video.